Okay, this is my follow-up video from my prior video on the Steam controller. I want to talk about a few more things, but first things first, I am sick, so that's why my voice sounds terrible. I got myself some of this this here throat goat tea. Well, it's not tea, it's an herbal infusion. It contains no leaves from the tea plant, therefore it is not tea. But anyway, I do want to address some of the comments that I received in the last video, kind of in a video form, because it's easier, it kind of reaches more people. I stated that there is, the haptic pad here clicks on the original Steam controller. As you can hear, it does click. And I said that this haptic pad does not click. As you can hear, it does not click. People have misinterpreted that for some reason. I don't know, maybe English isn't their first language or whatever, but this is clearly a click, whereas this is not. There's nothing clicking, right? There's no tactile feedback. There's no, I don't have to define what a click is. I'm pretty sure you would know what that is if you have any sense of agency to you. Somehow people were misconstruing that as me saying that there is no input if you press down on the trackpad. I don't know in what world does not click equate to that input doesn't exist. Those are two different statements with two different meanings, two very different points to be had, kind of irrelevant to each other when you think about it. I have the 8BitDo Ultimate 1 controller here that does click. That's clearly a click. Whatever, don't want to spend too much time on that. Let's see, back to what I wanted to discuss here. I spent about 19 hours with the controller, and this is my follow-up video 19 hours later. I played through all of Arkham City. I beat Arkham Asylum probably about 6 months ago. Now I have Arkham City, or I have it still, of course, but I beat it yesterday. Pretty decent game. It does have its problems. I might make a video telling people how to optimize it, because there are settings in the game that aren't present in the in-game settings menu. You have to edit a file in the file directory of the game to change specific engine settings, like to disable frame smoothing and the frame cap. It runs really poorly until you change those settings. I think it's super poor. You know what, I might just make a video about it instead of rambling about it here, about my Steam controller thing. I played through the entirety of the story of the game, the main campaign, and then I played through the Harley's Revenge DLC questline thing, whatever you want to call it. Really fun game. I don't think it was as great as Arkham Asylum, but whatever. Still a great game. Highly recommend it. That being said, 19 hours later, I love this thing. 100%. 100% I love this thing. Most of the things I said in the original video still hold true. I still agree with my initial impressions of the controller. I wish it had more of a grip still. As you can see, it's pretty lacking in the grip department. And while it looks like a big behemoth of a controller, I would wager that it's smaller than an Xbox 360 controller with the chat pad. Actually, I'm gonna go grab that. Okay, I now have it. This is the 360 controller with the chat pad. I've had the same controller since 2012. This is a side-by-side comparison of it to the Steam controller. Let me get a center frame here, about as center as I can get it. Yeah, I mean, this is clearly bigger, right? Side profile, roughly the same. I have seen a lot of claims on the internet saying that, oh, the Steam controller's only for if you have big hands. Well, I mean, I have very large hands, right? This fits my hands better. The chat pad, the extended thing on the bottom fits my hands better. This fits my hands better. We'll get to the 8-bit Ultimate in a second. This, I mean, it fits. Yeah, it fits, but it's not a controller for people with only big hands. I think if you had small hands, this controller would be totally acceptable. If you have average hands, it's totally acceptable controller. If you have big hands, as I do, it's actually small. I know that might be difficult to comprehend, but like this, it is a little narrow in some locations. The grips are pretty short. I mean, look, my pinkies are like rolling off the handles there. I wish they had a bigger model for people with bigger hands. All that said, I still think it is great. The overall ergonomics of it are way, way better than the 8-bit Ultimate. This isn't an in-depth comparison video of the two, but in the last video, another one of my initial impressions of the Steam controller is that it doesn't have an awkward hump. I don't know if I can get it on camera. Maybe I might have to hold it to show you. But as I'm holding it, right, my index finger kind of bridges across here, and it puts a ton of pressure on this hump of the plastic, right? And if I'm playing for a while, or it's even further exacerbated when I use my middle finger there. So, you know, it's standard grip, not using triggers. When I'm using triggers up here, not using triggers down here. That bridging puts a lot of pressure on your finger. You can only hold this thing for so long until you start to develop some kind of pain. Not like serious pain, like, ooh, wowee, the controller's making me want to go to the hospital. Obviously nothing like that, but it does get uncomfortable to hold after a while. Whereas this, I had to have a little more throat goat there. Bear with me. Whereas with this, I don't have that problem at all, because the shape of the handles causes your finger to rest down as opposed to straight across. Like they did put some thought into that, at least. Some of the features this controller has, I still really don't think I would use all 4 of these, at least for most of the games I play. 2, I like the paddle design way better. I still agree with that. 100% still think that would be the way to go. Another thing that really threw me off was that on the original Steam controller configuration UI, like when you would map and bind all your buttons and stuff, it was really easy. I mean, the UI was better. It was more fluid to navigate. Things were in more sensical locations. When you mapped the dead zone, there was a picture in a ring. Like if you wanted to increase the dead zone, it would show you exactly where that dead zone would be on your trackpad. If you wanted to add a key mapping or an input layer or whatever to the ring of the controller, the ring would be highlighted. There was like a graphical, kind of like a, you kind of had like a blueprint of what you were working with. While you were editing the binds, it was more intuitive to navigate. And I know that's not the fault of the controller technically, but it is the fault of Valve's implementation of the controller. I mean, come on, the software you use to edit the binds of the controller is pretty on topic for the controller itself. To me, it seems like it was a rush job getting that UI to a shippable, production stage in time for this controller. I have no doubts that UI will get a lot better. I think eventually they will add, like the so-called blueprint editing kind of thing that the original Steam controller had. I think it will get better. You know, every firmware update that comes out will get better. I mean, this thing's like, what, not even a month old yet. It is still in its infancy. It will continue to get better for a very long time on the software and firmware side of things. Back to the hardware side of things. I hope Valve releases more accessories, or at least any accessories for this thing. I think they're going to partner with iFixit, like they did with the original, not the original controller, like they did with the Steam Deck, I think. They partnered with iFixit to sell parts, replacement parts for the Steam Deck. I'm hoping they do that with the Steam controller. I'm pretty sure they are, right? But what I'm really hoping for is that you see this dock here for the 8BitDo Ultimate controller? Come on. That's so nice. It sits on top of my computer. The only thing on top of my computer. I don't put shit on top of my computer. This is the only thing on top of my computer. It sits there. When I want to use it, I reach over, I grab it. No fuss, no mess, no nothing, right? The Steam controller has the puck. You know, the famous puck. Everybody knows about the puck. It's a cool feature. I have nothing against the puck, but a dock would be so much better. And I mean, maybe they could do kind of like what 8BitDo did with their dock, is instead of having a place to store the receiver, maybe they could add a slot for the puck that would mount up on a ramp that the controller nests in. So the puck would be up here when you dock it, and it would, you know, just kind of come out all in the same manner. It's just that, you know, it would be routed a little differently. You know, I don't know. I don't work at Valve. This isn't I'm not gonna sit here and speculate on product design, but my point being is that I would much rather have a dock than a puck. You know, this is so much more convenient. It does everything I need it to do. It's nice on display. The Steam controller, when it's on the puck, it's just kind of like there's a wire dangling out the back of it. Not a big deal. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I really do want a dock to exist. I have no doubts it'll exist someday, at least in the aftermarket. And then with, I mentioned in the last video, like first-party official skins, still want that to be a thing, 100%. I still want there to be first-party skins for the Steam controller by Valve. I don't want to rely on third-party stuff. I think Valve made some really awesome Valve-themed skins with their original controller, and they're able to do that, you know, to take those creative liberties because it's their intellectual property, right? I don't know what the licensing is for somebody like D-Brand or, you know, some other big accessory manufacturer wanted to make like a Team Fortress 2 skin, or, you know, here like another Aperture Lab skin. I don't know. I don't know what the process is for that. But it would be nice to see stuff made by Valve with their own IPs, their own set of franchises they've built throughout the decades. I mean, hey, Deadlock's kind of big now. Maybe it'd be cool to have like Deadlock skins. I don't know. I'm not really a big Deadlock fan, but, you know, it's just something to think about. I still want there to be a case. This case is rock solid. It even has like a enameled Valve icon up there. This thing is kind of crusty, I know. It's been sitting in a drawer for a while. Just set that aside. Oh, one thing I did notice is that this has a molded slot for the dongle. They could easily add a molded slot for the puck in the new case, if they do make a new case, right? Back to the software configuration thing, I found the gyroscopic aiming configuration to be a real headache. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science. I mean, I think anybody would be capable of doing it. It's just really, really annoying. And if you want to have like a consistent, you know, I guess X, Y, and Z aiming experience with the gyro, it would be a lot easier if you could like link all three of the bars for those axes and move them all at once instead of moving them individually. And there's a lot of like, there's so much fine tuning that goes into it, right? It's a little ridiculous on the configuration side of things. I guess that is my. Oh wait, no, there's more to talk about. The buttons, they're very soft and spongy. I don't like that a whole lot. Like rapid tapping is pretty difficult because there's not as much upward force being reset on the membrane pad beneath the buttons when you try to press something quickly. Whereas with the 8BitDo Ultimate, it's a much more firm actuation experience. I wish maybe a third-party manufacturer will do that. Again, I don't know. I still would have much rather had this been mechanical or optical or a stiffer membrane pad under the button. The D-pad's all right. I'm not a big fan of the gloss finish on the D-pad or the joysticks, actually. Maybe they did that for like a matte finish or something, but I really like that, or maybe they did that to contrast the matte finish. Obviously, gloss is not matte. I like what 8BitDo did with their controller here. You have more of like a texture thing. You can feel the center pivot point. You know when you're center. You know when you're over any of the inputs because you can feel it. All right, and that's a very nice touch. I wish Valve implemented that touch. Instead, Valve added like this weird dome in the center, and I don't think it's as precise. I think it's kind of annoying. I mean, it's nice in the way that your thumb rests on it, but when you're actually using the D-pad a lot, I don't like it. It's not a horrible D-pad. I just think Valve could have made it tremendously better. I do. I think they could have made it way better. Trackpad experience, pretty good overall. No real complaints with the trackpad. It's great for like browsing and stuff. In game, sometimes like in Arkham City, for example, sometimes it was more natural to use the trackpad instead of the D-pad to select your gadgets or your gadgets and tools and stuff that you would need to progress through the levels. I don't know. I like that though. I do like that the trackpad's there. I mean, I was a big fan of it on the first controller. No reason I wouldn't be on the second controller. If any of you want to play Arkham City with the Steam controller, I exported my binds to the community. So if you got a Steam account, playing it on Steam and everything, have a Steam controller, you can import all the bindings over. It's kind of like a default. I kind of kept things in a happy medium for anybody who would want to use it. Me personally, I did tweak the aim sensitivity down a bit. Other than that, the mappings are identical. But yeah, that is like my follow-up thoughts 19 hours later with the controller. No serious complaints. I've just, after using it, I've come to understand the potential of it, right? I've come to understand the potential of it after using it for, a little over a week, 19 hours of gameplay. I am looking forward to the future of it. I really am. It's a great controller to begin with. It's only going to get even better with time. Maybe Valve would make a Steam Controller 2 or a Steam Controller Pro that addresses some of the complaints I have with this. I don't know. If they do, I'm buying it, but I don't foresee Valve doing anything like that. They don't seem like that kind of company to me. Yeah, I've been talking about this thing for, the runtime is 19 minutes and about 50 seconds. So I'm going to call it there. forgot what I was going to say at the end, but yeah, that's the video.